Hi you guys, hope you're all doing well. Hope you can all hear me. Welcome back to another Manchester City talk today. I normally do these when I'm on my day off. I'm fortunate enough to have a day off today, so with an international break coming this week and a dreaded week coming up, let's be honest, I thought I'd give my thoughts on Manchester City's recent games. Obviously, I done one of these talks a few weeks ago, so I'm going to build up from there and the matches we've played in them 2 weeks, including a enthralling, thrilling, entertaining 2-2 draw at the weekend against Liverpool. What a game that was. Unbelievable spectacle for neutrals and fans. Even as a City fan, I really enjoyed that game. And when Salah scored that goal, obviously I've done a preview about the match. Go back and watch it if you haven't. I give my thoughts there. When Salah scored that amazing goal where he dizzled and dazzled and amazingly got past our whole defence and put in an amazing, weak, right-footed shot into the corner, I had to stand up and applaud it because I thought it was a moment of brilliance from a brilliant world-class player. But that wasn't the only amazing goal in the match. Phil Foden slammed in an amazing left-footed shot in the corner of the net. Very good finish past Alisson. As soon as he got that ball on his left foot, I knew where it was going, and that was in the back of the net. He done really well indeed. It was a great game of football, and it definitely lived up to the hype and expectations surrounding it before the match. It was fantastic, and this is two brilliant teams who are two world-class teams for me, two of the best teams in the world even. I do believe that. That'll be in the title race this season with Chelsea. I did say Man United, but I'm going to go back on that now because from what I've seen from them, they're not quite at the level of the three teams I've just mentioned there. We've got our first comment of today, Chris Welsh. Morning, mate. Good morning to you too, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're all right. Just talking about the Liverpool City match there. What a fantastic game it was. It was the game of the season for me so far. Obviously, we beat Chelsea the week before. That game wasn't as good. We kind of just grinded the win out. It wasn't an entertaining watch, but that game on Sunday was fantastic. As I say, two amazing teams in an amazing game, and it had world-class players on show. It was fantastic. Glad I was at the game. Oh God, yeah, I bet you were, mate. I wish I was. I wish I'd had a ticket in the way, but obviously they sold out really quick. I thought both the Liverpool and City fans sounded really good. I remember when Liverpool took a corner, the Liverpool fans were roaring. The City fans were good from what I heard, the away fans. It was a great game. The players who played well in that match, I think so many did. I thought Bernardo was outstanding. He went on, that's the best I've seen Bernardo play in a long time, showed what a quality player he is. For Liverpool, Salah, unbelievable. As I mentioned at the start of this stream, I applauded his goal, it was that good. I thought Mane had a good game. I thought Jota was amazing. I must say, he got the better of Diaz. I thought Jota got the better of Diaz in that match, I must say. He looks a better player than Firmino than me. Henderson had a good game, I thought, in midfield for Liverpool. There was a lot of good performers. Even Milner, well, I would say Foden definitely got the better of Milner. Obviously, Milner ended up getting subbed off. That's probably down to wage. Obviously, Milner's well into his 30s now. Foden's a young lad at 21. Foden was outstanding. Bernardo was. I thought even Jesus had a good game on the right. And who played in the centre? It's confusing, this team. Well, Jesus was out on the right. Grealish was on the left. He had a chance to score. You'd probably say Foden, wouldn't you? Was more in a central role, but I thought Foden was outstanding. I thought Grealish was good before he got subbed off. People saying he had a bad game, we're watching a different game. Obviously, he had a chance where he could have scored, but Rodri with that amazing block off the line. As I said before the match, Rodri's one of the best CDMs in the world for me. I said that to someone and I believe it. De Bruyne had a good game. I think he kind of played in the centre maybe. The only weakness for City for us in this match was our back four. I don't think the centre backs were as good as they could have been, but then again, they're up against quality players. I thought Walker was solid at right back though. The keeper could have had a better game, and I thought Cancelo had one of his more poor games. He couldn't handle Salah at times, if I'm honest. Comment here, our weakness was Milner at right back. You lot exploited it. Yeah, that's what I've just pointed out there, mate. I thought Foden had him on toast, if I'm being honest. I think Foden even got a foul off him. But as I said, Milner's well into his 30s now. He's still a great pro, and Foden's a young lad who has got the world at his feet. I'd definitely say Foden got the better of that battle. I did expect that before the match, though. If he was against Trent, it'd probably been a different story, but he definitely got the better of Milner. Nothing we could do with De Bruyne goal, even without deflection, it was going in. Well, I thought Matip was unlucky. How good's De Bruyne's left foot, by the way? His left foot's probably better than his right foot, and his right foot's his strongest. Yeah, Do you reckon it was going in if it didn't deflect, Chris? What's your thoughts on that? I think it probably would have. It was a powerful shot, but obviously Matip kind of got in the way, and it kind of put Alisson away from saving it. It was a great shot, don't get me wrong. But as soon as he hit it, I knew it was going in, and it's deflected in the net. It was obviously gone down as De Bruyne's goal, as it was on target, but there's nothing you can do about these things. I thought Matip was unlucky. There's nothing he could do. He couldn't do anything, I thought. Just give me, I'll be 2 seconds, guys. Yeah, sorry, distraction there. Always when you do a stream, people decide to turn up. Typical, eh? It was going in my opinion, in left top corner. Alisson might have saved it. Yeah, I thought it was going as well, mate. It's one of them where as soon as he hits it, you know it's going in. I think regardless if Matip blocked it or not, it was a good enough shot to be going in the net. I don't think it made a difference at all. Matip was just there, wrong place, wrong time, but he had a good game, Matip, I thought, as did Van Dijk. And even Alisson did when he was called upon. I thought Alisson was better than Ederson in the game. But it's one of them where you can't do anything about it. For Matip and Liverpool, it's a great shot by De Bruyne. As I say, his left foot's really good. It's just one of them where you know as he hits it, it's going in. But after that, obviously there was that chance where Ederson totally missed the ball. He went out to catch it and he totally missed it. And it fell to Fabinho with literally an open goal, but Rodri phenomenally puts in this block and gets it away. I thought that was game over. I just thought, nah, that's it. But Rodri comes out of nowhere and blocks it. I didn't, it's a big moment in the match and he gets us a really good point. I thought that was a really good point for us away at a really tough ground, one of probably the toughest in the league. I think Anfield's tougher than Old Trafford and Stamford Bridge to go to. City were far better in the first half. We were indeed, mate. I do agree with that. We had chances we should have scored. Grealish had one which he put wide. I think De Bruyne had a header. He should be scoring for me. We could have had the game buried at half time, but we didn't take our chances. And obviously, second half begins, and Liverpool, obviously, Mane gets that chance. I thought Cancelo could have done better left back, and he calmly, very goodly slots it away past Ederson, and the Anfield crowd explodes. And that gives Liverpool a massive boost. You could see Henderson roaring the players on. He's a good captain, Henderson, I must say. And that was a big goal, obviously, but Foden gets the equaliser. But I thought Liverpool going 1-0 up could have been huge, especially at Anfield with fans there, because the Liverpool fans are really good. But the Man City fans were class as well. They were great in the away end. You could hear them all match. It was a great game, honestly. For me, with Chelsea, these are the best teams in the league, head and shoulders above the rest. You could just see with the quality, that game proved it. And you've got to say these three teams, I think Man United are still, from what I saw in that match, and what I've seen from Man United lately, I think Man United are too far off these teams, off City, Liverpool and Chelsea. Chelsea getting exploited a bit at the moment, I must say. They were 1-0 down against Southampton, but they did come back. But City and Liverpool are two amazing teams. They really are. Phenomenal teams, and they're going to be up there this season in the title race as you'd expect. I did say that at the start though. I'm happy with the draw personally. I'm just glad we didn't lose the title contenders. Yeah, I bet you are, mate. I'm happy with the draw as well. Away at a really tough ground. As I say, I think Anfield's the toughest place to go in the league. It's tougher than Old Trafford and Stamford Bridge for me. And I think the points in the I'd have took it before the match, definitely, as I said in my preview. And I bet you're happy as well. It was just a great game of football. I think both teams were happy with the point. Even Pep looked happy. Klopp, there were smiles at the end. No grudges or anything. The players looked happy. It was just a fantastic game of football between two of the best teams in the world for me. On the day, of course. And I believe these two teams will go far in the Champions League this season as well. I really do. Obviously, we did lose to PSG, sadly, but I still think we're going to have a good Champions League. Manchester United were never in it, in my opinion, as they are. Norwegian Gollum from Lord of the Rings as manager. Yeah, I do see what you're saying, mate. The finish with Man United, they've got really good players. Ronaldo, Fernandes, Cavani. Well, it's Pogba, Wan-Bissaka, but their problem is as the manager. He's bringing them down. He's not an elite manager, as I've said before. He's the problem there. If they maybe did get a bigger facing like a Conte or Zidane, with these type of players they've got, they could do better. But the manager is getting them down because he's punching above his weight. I said that to one of my mates who's a United fan. They've got a manager in charge. He's punching above his weight. He's very fortunate enough to be the manager, but because he was a former player, the fans will keep sticking behind him, and I don't really get it, to be honest. If United had a elite manager, I would put them in it. That's what I mean, mate. They've got the players, they've got the quality, but the manager's the problem. But then again, when I look at Man United, and from what I've seen in their games, they are lacking a CDM. Fred's not good enough. McTominay's not good enough. I don't think Matic is good enough anymore. So they're lacking there for me, whereas City and Liverpool and Chelsea are well covered there. What else are United lacking? Maybe an out-and-out number. No, well, they've got Cavani, haven't they? That's really where they're lacking. The CDM, they should have signed someone like Declan Rice. They are lacking a CDM, Man United, and that's probably another reason why you wouldn't include them. They're massively lacking there. And the manager as well, which we've pointed out was a problem. My favourite goal of the match was Salah. Yeah, for me too, mate. As I say, I was in the pub and I stood up and applauded it. Honestly, I did. When I seen him dizzle-dazzle past the defenders and put that shot in with his weak foot, I had to stand up and applaud it because I was sat with Liverpool fans as well. I had my City top on and I just thought it was a good goal. And obviously when we got the equaliser, I went a bit mad. It was fantastic. He put Diaz and Laporte both on the floor, two of the best centre-backs in the world. He had them both on the floor. Do you know what I mean? That's how good Salah is. And that shot with his weak foot, Ederson didn't stand a chance. Someone asked me the other day, is Salah a Premier League legend? Of course he is. He's one of the best winners to grace the Premier League. One of the best players in the world right now, if not the best for me. Absolutely fantastic. That was the goal of the match, so I agree. It was just fantastic the way the footwork was amazing. You can't teach that, it's just natural. To have Diaz and Laporte on he got past Cancelo dead easy, and he had Diaz and Laporte on the floor, and not many players put Ruben Diaz on the floor. This Ruben Diaz, he mad marked Mbappe's name out of the PSG match last season, but Salah had him on the floor. He really did. He had Laporte on the floor as well. That's how good the goal was. I think it speaks volumes. Just a moment of class, really. You can't even blame the defenders as well, because it was just really good footwork. Fantastic goal from a fantastic player. But the match was fantastic, as I say. Obviously, before that match, we got beat off PSG comfortably, I must say. We did get beat off PSG comfortably that night, and obviously they got beat off a stupid team at the weekend. Who was it? Rennes or someone in the French league, 2-0. So it kind of disappointed me seeing that. But we move on from that, and we've got our next Champions League match against Bruges. You'd expect us to win that. Messi type of goal. It was indeed a Messi type of goal. Very similar. He's like the Premier League Messi, is he? He's fantastic. Salah was the greatest winner in Premier League history, in my opinion. I can't argue with that. I agree, mate. I do. I really can't argue with that. I think the stats say it all and the numbers say it all. We've got this old helmet that's just tuned in saying, hello mate, how are you? I haven't seen you before on my channel, but welcome to the chat. Good to see you, mate. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you're well. But onto that topic. I'd agree with that statement. Salah's the best winner ever in the league. I can't really think of anyone better. Sterling's been good in the Premier League over years. He's got good numbers for someone who's only 26 still. But I don't think anyone comes close to Salah. Eden Hazard was good at Chelsea, but again, I think Salah's probably better. So it's a comment here. Hello, I just realised strap-on spelled backwards is no part. I had to say, alright, it's an interesting thought. You learn something new every day, don't you? Thanks for telling me that, mate. But yeah, I can't argue with that. I think Salah's the best winner in the league history. But on to Manchester City. Disappointing against PSG, really good against Liverpool, really good against Chelsea as well. If you did ask me if I'd have taken 4 points away at Chelsea and Liverpool, I'd have snapped your hand off. 4 really good points there. We move on to Burnley at home after the national break. Now that should be an easy win. We should be hammering Burnley at home, no disrespect. We always do beat Burnley at home comfortably. It's a game we should be scoring a few goals even and keeping a comfortable clean sheet. But I think we can go on a roll now. I think after that Liverpool match and the Chelsea match, this team's good enough. Obviously, I've mentioned plenty of times we do lack a striker, which we still do. We could sign Kane in January, you never know. Obviously, he's gone on a bit of a drought now, but I still believe he'd be class for us. But I believe this team, like last season, can go on a run now. Burnley at home should be an easy win. We should be battering them. We always do at home. But this team, we've got good fixtures coming up as well. I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but we've got winnable games. We've ticked Liverpool and Chelsea off, but we do have to go to Old Trafford soon, I believe, which will be tough for obvious reasons. But we've got a good run of fixtures now, which we can get a lot of points, and that could move us up the league. Let me guess, Manchester City 5, Burnley 0 as always. Yeah, it's always is that, mate, isn't it? It was last season, it was the season before. We do hammer Burnley at home a lot. I'd probably predict 5-0 as well, to be honest. We just always beat them, don't we, at home? Because the thing is, one of these teams, they'll try and come and park the bus from the first second, and it doesn't work because we always exploit them. And once we get that first goal, they fall apart, and we could hit double figures if we wanted to. They're a beatable team, Burnley, and I stick by what I say. I think they're going to get relegated this season. I think the luck's going to run out. They've been good over the years, don't get me wrong. They've steadied the ship, but I do believe that your luck has to run out at some point, and they haven't really strengthened in the window, let's be honest, they never do. And I think this is the season Burnley will get relegated. And I do expect us to hammer them at the weekend. I was shocked Burnley didn't beat Norwich. That's my point. That's a game Burnley should be winning. If you want to stay up this season, if you're Burnley, they're the games you should be winning. I think they were at home as well, weren't they? I think the luck's good. I think Burnley and Norwich will both get down. Norwich are just not good enough. They don't even try to stay up. They don't put any effort into stay up. They're just happy to go up and go down. Burnley, I think the luck's going to run out. I did say Brighton would go down, but what a season they're having. They're doing fantastic. Newcastle, another team that could be down there this season. They're not doing themselves any favours by keeping Steve Bruce. I wouldn't trust Norwich to hit a cow's backside. I know you wouldn't, mate. They're fucking as useless as, I don't know. They're just not very useful, are they? They're just a club that are happy to get promoted, get a bit of money, and go back down and just keep doing that. Now, where's the ambition there? How can you be happy to get promoted and go back down again? I don't get it. West Brom are similar. What's wrong with these clubs? They don't even try to stay up. Don't get me wrong, they signed Billy Gilmore. He's a great signing, and they've done well to sign him, but they don't put any effort to stay up, and they're just happy to get relegated again. I don't understand it. West Brom and Fulham are similar to that. They're just happy to go back down. But what's the point in getting promoted if you're just going to go back down? I don't get it. Or even try to stay up. Fair enough if you try to stay up and you don't have enough, then you've tried, haven't you? But if you're not even going to try, like Norwich, like they never do, what is the point? Do you know what I mean? Like, look at Brentford. What a start to the season they've had. They won against West Ham away. What a win that is against a good West Ham team. I think they're like 10th in the league, well comfortable already. Now that's a team that are trying. It's the first season in the Premier League and they're trying to stay up. Fair play to them. Who else got promoted? Watford are doing alright. At least they're trying. But Norwich don't even try and I don't get it. Did they win the league last season as well, Norwich? I think they did. Shocking. Burnley have same squad for recent seasons. That will get exposed at some point. Yeah, that's my point, mate. I think this is the season. Their luck will run out. I could be wrong. Sean Dyche is a clever man, but the 4-4-2 every season, lump the ball forward, it won't last for long. It never did with Tony Pulis at Stoke. Happened to Bournemouth and Bournemouth as well, yeah. Same squad, hit them in the back, exactly. Bournemouth were good for a number of years as well. They played some good football. They weren't like Burnley where they hoofed the ball up. They actually played nice stuff under Eddie Howe. But even in the end, he didn't have enough to keep them up and they got relegated. But Burnley have been in the league for too long now. They've got to have been a Premier League team for many years now. But they've always stayed up, which is credit to them with a tight budget they've got. I do believe though that has to end soon. I mean, they've got Dwight McNeil. I really like him. He should be a better team for me. I don't know what he's doing at Burnley. I think he'd flourish in a team like Tottenham or someone. But their luck's got to go. Yeah, Norwich won the championship. Thank you, mate. I thought they did, but again, so they win the championship. They put all that effort in. But what's the point in getting promoted and coming back down? Like you look at Brentford, they won the playoffs, didn't they? And what a goal they're giving it this season. They want to stay up. They're showing character. They showed it against Liverpool with them 3 goals they got. They showed it against West Ham. And against Arsenal when they beat Arsenal. And you're just not seeing that from Norwich. I saw them against City and I thought they were dreadful. We beat them 5-0 that day, was it? And they didn't even try. Like, I'm sorry, but what's the point in teams like that? You just think, why? They've probably got good money for going up as well. They've got a fortune, but they're just not even trying. They're just happy to get relegated. I don't understand it. I really don't. Sean Dyche is too good for Burnley, in my opinion. Yep, I'd agree with that, mate. I think, but would he ever leave Burnley? I don't know. Even if they go down, he might want to get them back up. He could be shot for the England job one day. You never know. No wonder Norwich, Fulham, etc. always come back up because they've got parachute. Yeah, that's the problem. Parachute payments for getting relegated. Exactly. So these teams, they'll go up, they'll come down, and they'll get loads of money from that, and they're just happy to just keep doing that every season. But it's not fair on teams in the Championship who've never been in the Premier League before, who are trying to go up and don't have these parachute payments. Like, I'll try and give you an example now. Millwall. I know they're not very liked, but they're a passionate club. They probably won't have as much as anywhere near money as what Norwich get for coming down. It's ridiculous. But Norwich will get promoted, win the league. Oh yeah, we'll just go back down again. We'll keep doing that every single season. Imagine if you support them, how frustrated you'd be for not even trying to stay in the best league in the world. It's unbelievable. And from what I've seen from Norwich this season, they don't look bothered to even stay up. They're just happy to get the money, as Chris said there, the parachute payments, and take that, get relegated, go up and just do the same thing every season. Normal service resumed. It's just poor. Like I say, imagine if you support them, you'd be frustrated. There's just no ambition at all. That's why everyone loved Brentford coming up something new. Exactly. It was great seeing Brentford come up. I think for a number of years now, they've always played some nice football. They've come close to getting promoted, but last season, that finally happened and they did. It was very refreshing to see. That's why I'd like to see maybe a Millwall get promoted this season, a team that have never been in the Premier League in their history. I know they've got a bad reputation with the fans, but they are a passionate club. Some of the fans that you do see in Eyesight Online's TV, like Dan for example. I'd like to see a team like Millwall go up, something new to the Premier League. I don't think many teams would like going to their ground as well. Who else could you say who haven't been promoted in the Championship? Team like Barnsley, they're struggling. But you know what I mean. Instead of having the same old teams come up every season with the parachute payments. Even Middlesbrough. It'd be nice to see Middlesbrough back in the Premier League. Middlesbrough obviously were last in the Premier League 4 years ago now. Because they went up in the 15-16 season but went straight back down. They did try to stay up though, Middlesbrough. They did try. They weren't like Norwich has tried, but they didn't have enough class. It'd be good to see a team like Middlesbrough go back up. A traditional club as well. Instead of having the same old teams come up this season. You know what I mean? Every season I should say. But it's always nice to see new teams get promoted. It just does my head in when you see Norwich, Fulham, Bournemouth. Bournemouth will probably another team will have parachute payments. Really frustrates the life out of you, to be honest, indeed. Should have a drink. Bristol City, another team that I don't think have played Premier League football before in the history. Swansea City obviously were in the Premier League for a bit. They do play some nice stuff. But Nottingham Forest, Chris has just nailed it there. Nottingham Forest, another historic club. Who haven't been they have played in the Premier League, but they played in the Premier League a long time ago now. A historic club, a traditional club like Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough have had some good history themselves. They got to the UEFA Cup final in 2006, and they went on an amazing run that year. And they won the Carling Cup in 2004. Nottingham Forest, a perfect example. Instead of seeing the Norwiches and Bournemouths go up, obviously Nottingham Forest won the Champions League many years ago, but they haven't been promoted in a long time. They've got a good fan base. I'd rather see teams like Middlesbrough, Forest, Millwall go up than Norwich, Fulham, Bournemouth, your West Broms, you know what I mean. It'd be nice to see. I'd love to see Middlesbrough get promoted. It's local to me as well. I'd like to see, I've seen Man City play at Middlesbrough, it was class, and, I've got family who support Middlesbrough, so that'd be nice to see. It'd be great to see if they did get, but they are struggling a bit, I think, this season already. They're not doing too well at the moment, same with Forest. But who's going to get promoted this season. I can name it now for you. It'll be Fulham, West Brom and Bournemouth, guaranteed. And that'll just be boring. It'll be like Norwich, but we're happy to go back down and not even try. Obviously, I bet Chris would love to see Carlisle jump the leagues. Carlisle in League One, or even get to the Championship one day. Maybe, you never know. Something new, do you know what I mean? Reading and QPR too. Yeah, good shouts, mate. QPR actually doing well this season, I think. Obviously, they have played Premier League football before QPR, but it'd be better seeing them or even, Reading than the same old boring teams you see all the time. 10 years ago, Carlisle won. Brentford 0 in the EFL Trophy. Bloody hell, I didn't know you beat Brentford, mate. Fucking hell. I do remember that game. Was that the last trophy? Yeah, of course it's the last trophy you won. That Carlisle team was good, wasn't it? You'll have to name me some players off that you know, but I'll name some players that I know that played in that team. Peter Murphy. Who was in goal? Was it Westwood? I don't know, I might be right. Adam Clayton was on loan from Man City, I think. Who else was in that team? Was it Zoko? Jason Kennedy. You'll have to finish the rest off, Chris. That's just my knowledge. But I think I've named some there. But that Carlisle team, from what I remember, was a really good team. What league were you in then, League One? I'm surprised I didn't go up to the Championship with some of the players Carlisle had then. Very surprising indeed. I'll let Chris finish the rest off because he'll know. But they're just the ones I know. But I think I'm right on, I may be wrong. But what a win that was. I bet that was a historic day in the Carlisle United history. And beating Brentford too. We probably weren't as good back then, but they've still had a good team, I'd have thought. Did you go to the game, Chris? I bet it was a special day if you did. It was at Wembley, wasn't it? But if you could name them players that played in the team that day, I'd appreciate it, because I don't quite know myself. I've named some that I think there, which I could be right on, but I'll let you finish the rest, mate. I'm sure you will know yourself. Obviously, big Carlisle fan. But yeah, it was a really good win for Carlisle. That. Unbelievable to beat Brentford. And I bet, obviously, a cup like that won't be big for some teams, but for a club like Carlisle, it'll be massive, won't it, financially as well. A day out at Wembley, it'll be absolutely huge. I think it was known as the Johnston's Paint Trophy back then. It's known as the Papa John's Trophy now. Sunderland won it last season, I remember, didn't they? I think Portsmouth won it in recent seasons, but yeah, really good win indeed. Just wait for Chris to name them players, if he's still around. But yeah, it's just boring seeing the same teams come up, come down. It's like yo-yo clubs, aren't they, really? Really boring to see. You just don't know what to say, do you? Like, it's a weird one. It's a weird one indeed. I'm just waiting for Chris to come up with these players now. I'm just patiently waiting because I'd be interested to see. I'm sure he's firing away now. I just want to know what the Carlisle team was back then because I know they had some good players. Oh, here we go. Colin, Murphy. I got Murphy right. Is this the team that played that day? Colin, that was the keeper. Colin, I thought it was Westwood. I know Westwood played for Carlisle. Matty Robson, Paul Thirlwell, Ben Marshall. Oh, Ben Marshall, yeah, he played for Blackburn, didn't he? Tom Taiwo, I don't know who he is. James Berrett, I remember him. Craig Curran, I'm not sure who he is. Francis Zoko, I said Zoko and I said Murphy, so I got two right. Did Adam Clayton play, Chris? I think he did. I'll let you, or was it the season? Carlisle played the season before, didn't they? I think in the same trophy. But I've got two right there. Got the keeper on. I said Jason Kennedy as well. He obviously didn't play. I'm trying to see some of the players I don't know there. I don't know Matty Robson. I know Paul Thirlwell. He's a coach now, I think. I know Ben Marshall. He's a good player. Tom Taiwo, I'm not too keen on him. James Berrett, I know him, and I'm not too keen on Craig Curran. But I got Zoko right. I said Zoko as well. So I got three right. That's all right, I guess. Did Carlisle, was it the season before, did they play in the final again? I think I'm naming some of the players from that team, like Westwood and Clayton. I'll let Chris answer again, because he'll know. You wouldn't trust me. I wouldn't even trust myself as well. But we'll let Chris talk about that topic. I'm sure he'll come up with the comments again. But thanks for leaving the players there, mate. Appreciate it. Your knowledge is better than mine on that. A lot better. Yeah, so obviously, historic day for Carlisle, that, for clubs like that, you know. And you look at Middlesbrough, getting promoted 5 years ago now, in the 15-16 season. That was a historic day for them. They did go back down, but it's a historic day for a club like Middlesbrough. Just like when they got to the UEFA Cup final, even though they got battered 4-0 all them years back. Danny Livesey, I know who he is. Liam Noble, he played for Sunderland, I remember him. Rory Loy, I'm not too sure about him. Paddy Madden, bloody hell, I know Paddy Madden. Played for Fleetwood, he's been around Paddy Madden. He did play for Carlisle, that's right. Paddy Madden, yeah. He's been around, hasn't he? He's a prolific striker in the lower leagues as well. He's been at Fleetwood, Scunthorpe. He's been around, he's a really good, I think he's at Stockport now. I didn't know, I kind of remembered he played for Carlisle, but I kind of didn't. But bloody hell, I didn't know Paddy Madden played for Carlisle, that's amazing. Adam Clayton was injured from what I remember, fair play, mate. I knew he was on loan at Carlisle that season, so I wasn't sure if he played or not. I don't know how he played for Carlisle. I know he was on loan from Man City. But I didn't know he played. I know he played for Carlisle, but I'm not sure how he done there. I think you told me he done well. You'll have to let me know about that. But yeah, I was convinced he played that day, but he obviously didn't. So thanks for letting me know, mate. But yeah, Paddy Madden at Carlisle, bloody hell. He's a good player as well. Danny Liversey, that rings a bell. I've heard that name from somewhere. It rings a bell. That was a good Carlisle team. I don't know where they finished in the league that season. But it was obviously a very good team for I think they were in League One at the time. Very good team. Hopefully Carlisle will get back to League One one day. I'm sure Chris himself will hope as well. So that's what I mean. You'd like to see a team like Carlisle jump the leagues if they could. A traditional club with a well-supported fan base. Be refreshing to see. Indeed. You look at Wolves. They're in League One not long ago, and obviously they're playing Premier League football. Well, a well-established Premier League team now, Wolves. So they've jumped up the leagues. Fair play to them indeed. Yeah, but what a good Carlisle team that was. I'll give it a few more minutes to stream, guys, and then I will have to go. Got a few things to do. Been a pleasure as always. But Man City, it's looking good for us again now. I was very critical of the last stream I done when we got that 0-0 draw against Southampton. Bit of frustration in me because I thought we weren't scoring enough goals, but I thought our attacking play against Liverpool was phenomenal. Really good, and that gives me more hope and optimism for the rest of this season. We've got another comment here from Chris. Players that were injured. Mark Gillespie, yeah. I forgot he played for Carlisle. He's at Newcastle now. But I think he's on the bench for them a lot. Is that Naki Wells? Flipping hell, I didn't know he played for Carlisle. He's a good striker. And was that Ryan Bowman? He's a good player now. I think he usually at Ryan Bowman. Was it Shrewsbury? So Carlisle have had some really good players over the years. You actually forget, don't you, really? They have had some good players. You had Clint Hill at one point, a really good experienced player. They've had some good players, which is good to see. I honestly didn't know Naki Wells played for Carlisle, though. That's something I didn't know. That is new to me, that. Owners need to sell Carlisle United to have that ambition. They do. If Carlisle are going to work up the leagues again and get promoted from League 2, which I think is what all Carlisle fans, including Chris, wants, whenever it's going to be next season, the season after, probably going to look unlikely this season. I think the owners need to sell up and give it to someone who's got more ambition and got more positivity in taking the club forward. Ryan Bowman and Naki Wells, bloody hell, mate, thank you. I really didn't know Naki Wells played for Carlisle. He must have been a young lad at the time, I'm guessing, as was probably Bowman as well. Unbelievable. But yeah, I do agree with your comment there. I think the owners need to sell up and accept that they're not good enough anymore, and I think the fans should maybe protest against them to try and get them out, like what Newcastle are trying to do with Ashley. Could work, you never know. But we'll see what happens. So we're gonna have the last minute here, guys. We're on 34 minutes. I'm gonna leave it till 35, and I am gonna have to go. But it's been a good 35-minute chat with you lot. Chris is always stopping by. What a legend. Thanks, mate. I do like having these chats when I have time, when I've got the time. Much better for Manchester City this season. Looking so much better, and I'm very happy. That's the main. No, not the manager at all. I agree. You can't blame the manager. He's only doing what he can do. It's definitely the owners that are the problem. I think if anything, Carlisle should stick with Chris Beech. And, be very hard to dismiss him. Very harsh to dismiss him. Sorry, I don't agree with that whatsoever. But guys, I'm gonna say bye to you because I do need to go. Chris, thanks for tuning in, mate. Thanks to anyone else who's tuned in. Absolute legends. Have a good rest of the day. Have a good week. Obviously, we've got the dreaded international break now, which I don't think anyone's bothered about, including me. But I mean, I was actually going to talk about England, but I just can't be asked if I'm being honest. But I just wanted to talk about Man City. But I'll watch the national break if I have time, but guys, you take care. Um, Thank you for tuning in. Look after yourselves. Manager, for me, done the best. Can just need new money. Yeah, that's the thing, mate. Yeah, the manager's done amazing. You can't criticise him at all. It's definitely the owners at fault. I agree. Take care, mate. Thank you, and you too, mate. Thanks for tuning in, pal. And I'll see you later.